Coming to you from beautiful Death Mountain in the land of Hyrule, this is the Link to the Past Randomizer Fall Qualifiers here on Speed Gaming. We have a lot of runners going once again in these qualifiers. We have Phyleon, Megawatt, Divisines, and Hacksaw all ready to show off what they can do here in this seed that we have in front of you tonight. And we have a triple broadcast, which I'll talk about in just a second. But first of all, hey everyone, I'm Cyclone. I'm joined by Wolflink. How are you, Wolflink?
Good evening, everyone, and I am excited for this race. So tonight we have Phyleon, Megawatt, Divisines, and Hacksaw. Just 4 of the 77 runners in this, our 10th qualifier for the Link to the Past Randomizer 2019-2020 tournament.
Yes, we've had a lot of racers in some of these qualifiers, and we have some that even have exceeded 100 runners. So there are a lot of people in this tournament who want to show off what they can do and find out how far they can go among a very, very talented group of runners. A lot of the runners in this game are in this tournament exceptional runners. Pretty much almost anyone in this tournament could win. Wouldn't you agree?
Indeed, and there's a lot of people running this race, like we said. And also, we are not alone in terms of the restream. We, of course, have the Link to the Past Randomizer featuring a couple other runners, but also our friends over at Speed Gaming Francias are featuring a restream of this for the French viewers of our audience.
Yes, I'll just cover the runners on those channels very quickly for anyone who might be a fan of those. And feel free to bring them up and watch them along with us. We're only going to watch this stream, but if you want to watch the other streams with this, go ahead. Cadenza, CompuGrab, Kainup, and Durand are on Francais. Juef and Scary Oliver commentating on Francais. GFE and D Demolisher are over on ALTTP Randomizer with Ben Crichton and Phantom Fox doing commentary over there. So feel free to bring those up and watch them along with us. You can see 10 runners on tonight's race if you have the bandwidth to support it on your own local browser. But we are only going to comment on what we see on our channel here on Speed Gaming 2. So we're only going to see these 4 runners. And for that reason, we're not going to be watching the other runners or spoiling anything that comes up in the other runners' races.
Indeed. And speaking of things we see, look at this hatch tonight. We have all 3 of the medallions of the hatch. I think it's the first time I've seen that.
Well, I rolled a full house once, but other than that, yeah, I agree. This is a 3-medallion Cane of Samaria hashtag, and I'm going to suggest that Turtle Rock shows up early today just because of that. And we are underway. We have arrows and we have blueberries.
I mean, the early boss is always nice. Probably expecting an early map trick here in a few moments.
And there it is.
I see a red pendant at Desert, red crystal at Eastern, and we have a normal crystal up in Hera.
I did see the red crystal at Eastern. That is very interesting seeing that early. We know that sometimes, I like to call her Plump Petunia, but she's commonly known as the Fat Fairy, is an item location I love to see checked, especially if it has something there. And early Eastern Palace suggests, or red crystal Eastern Palace suggests that could come into play because it is a very early dungeon in the game. Now, again, it depends how the logic plays this out. Eastern Palace will be the last place we go. We don't know yet.
So early checks of the crab and the tree has not been too fruitful, but there is a bow for Divisines.
What did I just say about early Eastern Palace? What did I just say?
Well, now it's looking more likely. Meanwhile, we just saw a Lumberjack ledge check from Megawatt. Only a piece of heart, so Aga is not required at least for that, but he could be our means for Darkwood access still.
Now, of course, with all what I've been saying about early Eastern Palace, we still need the lamp for it to actually be fully in logic, but having access to complete it for many of the runners here who are skilled enough to do dark rooms. Most of the runners here will be able to do dark rooms, no problem. So you're going to find a lot of Eastern Palace clears just because of that early bow, whether they have the lamp or not.
And that early bow is leading Phyleon deep into Hyrule Castle. Going to use the few arrows he has to go into the back of the world.
And hopefully he finds something down here.
You don't see an early Hyrule play too often.
Not very often. Not very often. And we are getting our first look there. The map is the first item there. We haven't seen anything handy, it looks like, in the Lost Woods. I think I saw money in one of the locations there. And indeed, 3 of our runners have 300 and some rupees on their person at this time. And it was just bombs in the drop down.
Yeah, but that 300 rupees means they can do a full clear of Kakariko. Sans the sick kid, which you need a bottle to do. Mm-hmm. And that's a 13 items, so pretty good density here. We're about to see some checks here as well. Single rupee, the glove, the hook shot.
We're in blind shot right now as well. There's the power glove, actually, and that's the hook shot you were just talking about.
Yeah, and there's a piece of heart as well. Meanwhile, Phyleon picks up a heart container in the boomerang chest.
3 of our runners are making that play through Kakariko right now. Of course, Philion is making the play on Hyrule Castle. Looks like Hacksaw will be the first to the well, and he's going to be just ahead of Megawatt. They're going to probably be seconds behind each other for a moment here. Nice start job, Easy.
Oh boy, no lamp.
Oh, we found the.
It's a card too from Hacksaw.
Oh.
And Bombos, there it is.
There's the Bombos. So the early Turtle Rock play could be coming in, like I suggested.
there's
There's the Ether. Let's have a Quake. There's the Ice Rod. Let's have a Quake. Nope, Blue Man. Value well today.
Now watch, both of the dungeons are going to require Quake, and Turtle Rock's going to be pendant regardless. Triple the return on the investment there from the merchant. Not a bad deal.
I'd say we ripped him off for once.
Indeed.
And looks like the chicken head only had 20 rupees in it, so which is not surprising. We already had a lot of items in Kakariko. We did find Ether in the well as well, which I don't see marked off yet.
Yeah, a lot of items came back in their rapid fire. And speaking of which, tonight our trackers are Iceman F1 and Slowpoke. I wonder who's being a little slow on the tracker. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's a joke. They're being given a lot of work already. That's a very, very valuable Kakariko. And I thought I saw a pendant tower here. Did I see that wrong?
No, that's a blue crystal, and we see a heart container up there.
Okay, it was a crystal. Okay. I just saw it really quickly on Philion's. So let's see what's at the race game.
Oh, a bottle with a bee in it.
Hacksaw decides to go back for that, and Megawatt says no thank you.
Well, the Sick Kid could have something here.
Yeah, I would have picked up the bottle just for Sick Kid. I think Hacksaw's going to go back and check Sick Kid. Megawatt may have not considered that.
We do have bombs in the poultry, though. And Megawatt with the gloves is going to go check the back of the skate. This is something we haven't seen yet, because I don't think Violet can go that far.
He could not.
So the small key's back here.
Violet will get all the very interesting items, but he also has the access to Eastern Palace. There's Arcana Samaria. Pretty much almost everything in the hash has been picked up now.
Or is it that Quake medallion?
All we need is the Quake medallion.
Alright, so Hacksaw turning in the bottle, and the bottle becomes a shield.
Protection.
Yeah, I can see that. Although Fighter Shield's not that much protection. It does help you with some arrows so you can not get sniped. But I don't think it protects you while you're swimming, which is one of the main issues.
Well, a lot of runners aren't too concerned about the shields anyway, as Philion is now going to get his very nice blinds hideout with his glove and hookshot combination. And he'll realize that this was where more items were than the castle this time around.
Cape? That's not a good sign.
That is not a good sign.
Also, I just realized, combined with all the items, Philion now has full access to the light side of Death Mountain, with the exception of Tower Hera. You can go to Paradise Cave.
And if we do find that hammer, that'll give him access to Tower Hera from the other side with the hookshot. And I would finally getting his medallions.
There's the Moon Pearl.
Oh!
And a sword!
Well, we have the Aghanim recipe, but will he be required? We will find out.
It really depends on if we need another glove or if we can find the hammer.
Yeah, the glove and the hammer are the things that will matter at this point.
Hammer is a definite nail in the coffin in terms of an ag required seed today.
Agreed.
But if it's the glove, depending on where our other 5-6 crystal is, it could be a scene in which Pyramid Fairy is required, and I've seen it once. The hammer was at Pyramid Fairy.
You addressed something I did not want to bring up yet, but that was on my mind as well. I have mentioned that in a race before myself.
Yeah, it is a very niche scenario, but agate could be required for the Super Bomb.
And that would just be disgusting, but it does happen.
But as it stands right now, the more likely scenario is agate is required to access the Palace of Darkness area.
I think Megawatt's going to give us a fake flipper. He's walking down from the Ice Rod Cave. That suggests to me he's planning to hop in the water without the flippers. So this is a little trick that you can do just by dropping in the water and changing frames as you fall in. And guess what? You're swimming without the flippers. But if you get hit, well, that's not good.
All right, island check. Just some more of those blueberries you mentioned.
And finally going to get his bottle from the race game. And those guards on the bridge can fire you. You want to get under that bridge as quick as you can.
Yeah. Oh,
that
there's
is another
Master Sword.
Master Sword.
But that's a sequence broken Master Sword, so that's not something they expect you to have in the Aghanim puzzle unless the flippers are available to us right now.
Well,
Which
really
for all we know,
go ahead.
For all we know, they could be.
That only really matters at the Ganon fight, and by then we're going to have everything we need anyway. We should have the flippers by then, I would imagine. So I wouldn't consider the sword too much of a sequence break at this point, because we already have enough of the Aghanim puzzle. We have a cape, and we can get in with the sword to the Aghanim fight, so we don't need the Master Sword to actually get to Aghanim.
I mean, that is true. We don't need the Master Sword for it, but usually the sea gives you both means to enter Agate Tower if it's required.
I have seen one that doesn't. So, yeah, it's a very unusual scenario. I do agree with that. So let's see what the waterfall has. 20 rupees and a piece of heart, so that's nothing.
Completing a heart container with that, so we actually knocked out of the water walk state.
And we now have 600 rupees, so we are going to get our Zora check here from Megawatt. I think Hacksaw's going to be doing that as well. I think that's why they're doing their fake flipper routine, so they can do that. That's a bottle on the ledge, so if we hadn't already gone to the race game to get the bottle there, we could have picked that one up. Some runners may go for that, but some probably won't.
Well, we don't have actual flippers.
We can't get it now anyway, but yeah. Depends if they find the flippers.
Eastern check coming up from Phyleon. 3 more items here.
What does 500 rupees buy you today? It buys you a book. We have access to Desert Palace.
Yeah, and that book is in logic, too, because you can just walk here with the Power Glove.
You can, so that is in logic.
And yeah, Fire Rod for Phyleon, by the way, so lots of damage potential on his end.
Oh, Fire Rod in the closet, I see.
And he's heading to Eastern. Makes sense, get an early crystal off the board.
He has the bow, and so does Divvy Science, because Divvy Science also checked the Uncle, but it looks like Hacksaw and Megawatt have not checked that yet, and they don't have the clue to consider Eastern Palace yet. Granted, they also have not picked up the lamp yet, because that's also at the castle.
Yeah, currently the only one who could be suspicious of Aga would be Phyleon because of that lamp, but he hasn't been down to the South Shore yet to pick up his sword or cape.
No.
The others need to go all the way to Zelda Cell to pick up the lamp for them to even remotely consider it.
And depending on how dry the clues end up coming in Desert Palace and Eastern Palace, we could get to the point where everyone will come to that because they're going to have to check that before they consider Aghanim as part of the solution. They may be considering Hyrule Castle the last place to go to before going to Aghanim.
The old man gave us a shovel. One of those fetch quest items. Wouldn't be that hard to check. Just have to go to Link's house and go west.
Finally, I'm finding a dusty old map of Eastern Palace.
Still no items here in Eastern Palace. There are 3 total to find. We'll see what comes up.
I think this is our first time at Death Mountain. What is it with bottles out in the open today? That's 2 bottles sitting out in the open. I think that's Red Mail over at the... Yeah.
And to answer your question, Cyclone. I don't know why we've had so many freestanding bottles.
If there's one on the desert ledge, I'm going to say there's some kind of situation of bottles not being considered valuable today.
Well, there's the fire shield for Filing as the first item picked up. In my opinion, the best shield.
And notice he's walking by the hint tile, the reason for that being that the hint tiles are not activated in this tournament.
So the other two items are in the darkness, or beyond it, rather. Alright, Paradox Gate coming up here. Large amount of items. Starting off with the pair of heart pieces. We'll see what the big 5 upstairs has. Or is it downstairs?
Are we going to have the hammer here? Can this be the hammer?
I'm expecting Titan Smiths.
That'd be a little less friendly than the hammer at this point, that's for sure. Ooh, nice turn as he picked out the bombs out of the chest. That was a very quick turn. Nope, nothing.
Nothing. Still has the spiral cave, though.
And Divisine's going to be getting his fire rod. He has his bow, but he does not have his lamp. So I'm not familiar with Divisine's myself. I'm assuming he does have capability of the dark room, so he probably will still do Easter Palace.
Now, I think it's hard to tell on the Dark Link sprite, but I think Hylian does have blue mail. Because I want to say that was with the medallions.
That was in Kakariko somewhere, so yeah, he would definitely have picked that up. I think it was in Blind's Hut, if I remember.
It was either in Blind's Hut or it was in the well.
Actually, no, it was the well. You're right. It was the well. I was trying to remember where it was.
Yeah, it's particularly hard to see the coloration of the blue Shinigami Dark Link. I think it's his eye color, actually.
Yeah, it is hard to tell with the Dark Link sprite because it's just eternally dark. So finally using some of his arrows and of course going to pick up a refill.
Speaking of which, the second item I haven't yet to mention is the half magic, so Violent's good on the magical front.
Yep, he's in good shape for magic right now.
Alright, Armos Knights.
This doesn't take long, just fire 18 arrows, maybe a few extras.
Oh, Violent is setting up for a quick kill.
He is indeed. And he's going to get it right there. The way that works is if you get one Armos Knight down to 2, but do not kill it, 2 hits of damage that is, and leave it with 1 hit left. When you kill the other Armos Knight, you're going to normally see that knight turn red, which will normally refill its health to a full 3 hearts. That you have to hit it again. But if you manage to get that last kill before the knight turns red, you'll be able to just do the quick kill, as Wolfling stated.
Yeah. Also, it is possible to deal damage to Armos Knights besides arrows, but arrows do the most damage.
Correct.
Are only 3 per shot.
Yeah, if you're going to use a sword, you're going to be there for a while. So finally, there's our first runner to lock up with one of the crystals, one of the red crystals on top of that before we get to the 16-minute point. So that's our first crystal to see. And he's going to check the moat area now, the dam. And notice the trick he did with the hook shot there. He hook shot the block where the block was going as it was moving. As a result, the game somehow, I don't know why, properly coded games in 1992, it placed him on top of the block as it was moving into that location, as if it was not there yet. So as a result, he was able to do the dam in one shot without having to go back outside to reset the dam.
Yeah. So looking at the seed as a whole right now, I'm noticing a distinct lack of Darkworld active right here, and as far as I'm aware, the only place we have left to check is the desert area.
I think you're right. We still have access to a Desert Palace. We don't have the boots yet, so it could be a boots lock Desert Palace, which means we may not even have access to the items in Desert Palace yet, depending on if the dungeon items are outside of that locked room on the right side.
So we're going to see a shovel check here from Hacksaw in the meantime.
And there's Phylion's Moon Pearl. Now, as you notice, Divisine's has the fire rod. That's why he was not worried about the lamp. He actually turned and lit the torch, which gave him the ability to see in the dark there. So that actually is a workaround if you don't have the lamp.
What?
What?
Vanilla flute.
Nice. Vanilla flute. So we're gonna have a flying ability now, at least.
But that doesn't do much.
So what I was gonna say is that the players normally would not in the vanilla game have the fire rod when we get to Eastern Palace. It's not available till later in the game, but because we have it, we can use that to light the room, and we don't need the lamp. However, the logic will assume that you need the lamp.
Indeed. Because not all dark rooms have torches in them.
Correct. And
Now-
Hacksaw playing some music.
I would not be surprised if this is a flute to 6 and to check the desert region after this, because that's, even though the flute is a nice find, that doesn't really unlock anything for us right now.
You're saying check what?
It has to be something in desert that either leads us
Yeah.
to the dark world or puts us on the path and say, okay, it's Aga.
Yeah, it's either, at this point, I think it's either Desert or Aghanim. We can't get to Tower of Harry yet. That's not available. We've checked most of what we can on Death Mountain. We can't even get to Spike Cave yet. And there's 300 rupees on the ledge, so that's not going to be it.
Axel's going to start by checking desert. If it is a boots lock and we get like an item here that is not dark, gives Darkhold access, the only spot left is a Gina, and then it has to be Aga.
Has to be Aga, yeah. What's with the Aghanim seeds in this tournament? There's a lot of them so far.
I don't know. I'm okay with it, but I don't know.
Get cozy with the wizard. You're gonna do a lot of it, apparently.
Alright. Hacksaw not checking the first chest is going to immediately look and see what's on the torch. It's the big key. This is a boots lock desert.
It is boots locked, but will we find an item here? This could be the boots right here in this chest in this room. If it is, then problem solved. Origini could have the boots.
It is
Nope.
a small key, so...
Small key. That gives us access to the right side.
Meanwhile, we are seeing a Gina from Divisigns.
Now this works out nice for Hacksaw because he's going to be able to check this area. Then he's going to be able to head down, check Agina from the exit on this side. So from a routing perspective, this is a good situation. The key ended up where it did. You can get these chests out of the way and not have to come back to this side.
Last check. Hacksaw pulls 20 rubies. It's an Aga seed.
Well, no, we still have Agina.
Agina was a piece of heart.
Oh,
Divisigns
we saw
checked
that.
it.
Okay, I didn't see that. Different Science checked it. Yep, it's an Aghanim seed.
As I like to call it, an instance to Aga, required for Dark World access.
Yeah, when we saw that cave, that was not a good indication, and sure enough, Aghanim is in play.
And we know it's in play. And it was intended to be a fighter sword Aga as well, because the flippers, or one of our swords, is not in logic right now.
That was the hobo, I think, that had that sword. So it's going to be a fighter sword Aghanim.
Yeah, but thankfully, fighter sword doesn't do much, except gives us more range. It gives us less range. And for any of the guards we had to fight, we had the fire rod and half magic available to us.
And if you didn't want to use... normally you wouldn't have those weapons when you do Aghanim in the vanilla game, so we're overpowered for the Aghanim stair climb right now, but the comment on fighter sword, yeah, absolutely right. Normally the fighter sword would take forever to kill all the enemies in that tower, and that's why you give the master sword before you normally go to that tower in the vanilla game.
I think Divisigns is going to be the first runner to pick up on it. Although I don't think Divisign has been onto the mountain just yet.
He has the fire rod. He had to... No, that was in... sorry, that was Sahasrara. What was on the mountain that... Moonpearl was in the south. Red Mail was up there, yes. But no one picked that up because that was at the... yeah, he's going to the mountain right now. Oh, no, that's Finley going to the mountain right now.
Yeah, we know that it's an Aga seed, but they don't have all their own location checks, so we're going to see a lot of back and forth here.
That's right. Up here we can see everything, but they don't get to watch each other. This is a blind race in terms of they can't watch what anyone else is doing or watch the broadcast to listen to what we're saying. It is completely like they're in an isolation booth and they're playing with no help. Ah, that's where the shovel was.
Yeah, it was on the old man. So we'll see who makes the trigger pull to Aga first.
Well, Haxwell's going to get his crystal over here. I don't blame him. Megawatt's doing the same thing right now. He's almost at the Armos Knights. Other two runners have both already completed the Armos Knights. And it won't be until the runners are both done over here on this side that either of them will make the Aghanim play.
Yeah, now we're seeing a different strat here from Megawatt with the Armos
Oh!
fight, which starting in the upper right corner.
Go to the castle. Divisides hasn't actually... No, he has gotten the bow from here, so this could be the Aghanim play. Either that or he's checking the basement first.
Well, meanwhile, beautiful kill from Megawatt there on Armos Knights, going with the upper right strategy of the quick kill.
Actually, I think this is going to be a basement play because he doesn't have the lamp yet. He's going to go check the basement, and then when he's done there, he's going to possibly check Dark Cross with that lamp, and after that, I think he's off to Aghanim.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going down to get the lamp.
This is what I suggested a couple runners might consider doing, and there may be others in the race doing the same thing. They might make this the last stop they make before they consider going into Aghanim. As long as everything had linked up, they might not have come down here. Like Divisides might have never been to the Hyrule Castle if everything showed up for the Dark World, but because it didn't, now he's going to check here. He's going to make sure there's nothing here, which we know there's the lamp. That's going to be a sign that Aghanim is required, and he's going to end up having to go fight the wizard.
And speaking of things that are going to be fought, Hacksaw will have to fight his way back through Eastern. He is the only one of our featured four tonight who did not go check Uncle. He does not have the bow, it looks like.
Oh my.
Megawatt making the play. Fire going to make short work of these ball and chain guards.
Hacksaw is probably not going to be very happy because he didn't go to the castle, like you said, to check the bow from the escape, from Uncle's area and escape. That was in the chest underneath of Uncle, where Uncle is lying down to greet you. Unfortunately, because he doesn't have that bow, that is going to probably cause some rage when he comes to that check.
Yeah. It is an early check, so I don't blame him he missed it. And really, you don't really want to go to the castle too early if you don't have a combat solution.
And I can't blame any runner for doing that possibility, but the Uncle check is the one that I would still make even if I don't want to go to the castle itself. But at the same time, I do understand that it is also a time investment to go up just to check those two items and then go somewhere else like Kakariko. I do agree with making the Kakariko play first, but I would still find a way to get to the castle from there because there's a lot of items there that could potentially be progress. We are getting our Aghanim play for Megawatt.
Yes. And he's on the upper floors at this point. Just has to get past the red armored guards here, which have a fair amount of health. Takes a spin and 2 slashes each to kill. So, probably... What is that, 8 health?
For the Mace Knights? Yeah, it's 8 health on the Mace Knights, because normally the wooden sword you'd have to hit 8 times if you have the fighter sword.
I was talking about the red guards.
Oh, the red guards? Yeah, they're stronger too. I think it's 8 health. I could be wrong on that.
Alright, well, folks,
Yep. Get your blue ball guesses in chat. How many blue balls is Aghanim going to throw today? I'm going to say 3, as I always do. What do you think?
Stole my guess.
Well, of course, I go with the odds.
I mean, I don't know why, but I feel like this is going to be a 7-1.
Meanwhile, we have music. And as Hylian frees the Swan, Megawatt is in the Aghanim fight, so Aghanim fires a regular orb at you that you can fire back at him. That is the normal thing you want to see, and you will eventually get 6 of those to fire at him. But that's a 50-50 chance to get another of those orbs or one of those blue balls for the next 3 hits. There's one of the blue balls, and there's going to be actually, he already had 4 attacks. So he then goes into a lightning crescendo where he fires lightning down. You just don't want to be down there because you're going to get roasted if you do. And then the cycle repeats. The first shot is always a guaranteed orb to fire back, and then it's back to the 50-50.
And something else to note is the lightning is completely random, but otherwise the same pattern is applied to all runners.
Oh, only 1 blue ball today. Not bad.
Not bad at all. And we get a full heal because we had the Moon Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Also, it looks like we did see a hospital check. I missed that. It seems that ice bouses are green pendant.
Yeah, we did have that check. I didn't catch the dungeon myself, which is why I didn't mention it, but it is marked on our tracker, as you said, that is Ice Palace. We're getting our catfish check for Megawatt before going to Palace of Darkness. And here's our map check. I was too quick. I saw a green pendant, as you said, Ice Palace, but that was where my eye was, and I didn't see anything else.
I think I saw a crystal at Misery Mire, but that was it. Yeah, it was too fast. Some of our more eagle-eyed viewers will definitely help us out here.
Yeah, we'll have to have Chad help us out with that one, and the trackers will get whatever they saw as well. I saw a crystal marked for Skull Woods, so it looks like a crystal at Skull Woods. And that might have been the red crystal. I think that's a star on that crystal.
Now here's the kind of the issue with this. The entirety of the Dark World overworld is more or less open to Megawatt, with the exception of Dark Death Mountain.
Here's our catfish check for Megawatt. He is going to wake up the fish. The fish will emerge from the depths in its circle. It will toss you. It's hot.
Meanwhile, Hacksaw did go back and finish Eastern Palace with the newfound bow.
A bit of a time loss, I'm sure he wishes he didn't have, but I actually would have waited. I would have considered waiting to do that only because you're going to come back for Palace of Darkness anyway, and at this point, the item density suggests go through Aghanim first because you're going to go Palace of Darkness right from there. So in this case, we know it was a time loss. It would have been a gamble to make that play, but I might have made that play at this point. Granted, he doesn't have the mirror, so I guess it would be hard to do that.
Yeah. Now, a couple of things to note as we will not see them just a little yet. Fighting Aghanim is not necessarily a good thing for a few reasons. For one, it's a slow, and sometimes, in most cases, unnecessary fight. But other things it does is it makes the enemies distribution different. In the light world, generally things are harder.
Yes.
And also, it also makes a little bit of an inconvenience when you're doing save wars when you have the mirror because it'll put you on the pyramid instead of in the light world at one of the spots that we usually have, the Sanctuary, Link's House, or the Old Man.
Yes, if you have the Moon Pearl and you defeat Aghanim, you will start in the Dark World. And this can be annoying, especially if you don't have a mirror, because you could end up starting at the pyramid when you don't want to.
I think you have to have the mirror for that.
You would have to have the mirror, you're right. You would have to have the mirror. So if you have the mirror, you would be able to start in the Dark World. But so you have to remember in those cases to mirror back to the Light World before doing a save and quit.
Divisine's looking to be the second person to pull the... No, I'm sorry. Third person to pull the trigger. Her Filene's already up the tower.
Filene will get his one blue ball Aghanim when he gets to the top. And as being pointed out by one of our people in chat, yes, there is very, very good possibility there could be other runners. We have some seven. How many did you just say, Wolfling? 75 or 77?
77 runners, according to someone in chat, I believe.
Yeah, so we have at least we have 70 some runners in this race. There could be a number of runners who could be well ahead of where these runners are. We don't know that. These runners could be well ahead of where everyone else in the race is. Again, we don't know that.
Alright, Filene is fast approaching Aga 1. Meanwhile, we're seeing Megawatt checking Skull Woods.
Yep, I was just noting that he's already considering this because of the 5/6 crystal and the fact that we have the early fire rod. I was just about to comment on that, actually. He looks like he wants to finish Skull Woods, go get Mothia down, and get Pyramid Fairy out of the way quickly. Now, the reason that is possible is because we do have Aghanim defeated, so Pyramid Fairy at this point is open.
Of course, they can go all the way around to the Hype Cave, as we like to call it. Hasn't lived up to that legacy of a name in a good long while, but maybe a little surprises today. We've had some good high-density locations already, though.
You mean a couple big 20s and a blue rupee are not hype for you? Come on, that is extraordinarily hype.
Well, I've heard Legends of the Days of Yore when you had pretty much all of the regression.
Yeah, when you have 4 items in one cave, that is hype regardless of which cave it is.
I think we had a new Hype Cave tonight as well.
Yeah, that was our hype. That was our hype location today. So we'll call that the Cave of Disappointment when we get there. Finally doing his Aghanim fight, Divisine's on his way up the tower, Megawatt fighting a bug, and the bug goes down.
The bug has 20 rupees, so one of the 2 items here in Skullwoods has been claimed. I'm not sure if Megawatt picked up the other one yet.
Now, it's important to note again that we do have access to the, like people like to call it the Fat Fairy, I call her Plump Petunia again because that's the name I gave her. And that is now available for Megawatt, so Megawatt can go there and then make his way over to Palace of Darkness if he so wishes.
It's not in Logic, actually.
Oh, Palace of Darkness can't be completed in Logic, but the Fairy is.
How would you get the bomb over right now?
You can't go through...
You can go through the mirror portal, but I don't think you can. It comes with you on save and quit. I'm not 100% sure on that.
It does go with you if you go through the portal, doesn't it? Can you? Oh no, you need the mirror to get over there. You're right. Okay, you need the mirror to get over there. I think.
Yeah, I never actually tried saving.
Unless you can save and quit with it. Maybe Chad can confirm if you can save and quit with the bomb, because I thought you could.
I'm not sure. I have never actually tried to do that.
It's not something we think about very often.
Well, we'll see if that comes into play.
Yeah, we'll see if that does happen. If it does, we'll go from there. By the way, if the mirror shows up, at least we know the Fairy is available at that point for sure. Ooh, nice hook shot through the spike.
Another version 31 change. This can be an item now.
It was a compass.
Yeah, in previous versions, that was a guaranteed small key in case you fell down the pit here.
And now it changes the way that area is routed because it's no longer guaranteed to be a key. So you want to go in the normal door so that you don't end up soft locking yourself. So we are getting our Palace of Darkness check from Phyleon here.
Divisine's meanwhile is heading straight over to the Palace, or the Village of Outcast region.
Do you predict a Troll Hammer in Palace of Darkness?
It's randomized, or anything can happen.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Don't know. But in terms of what I think the scene wants us to have a nice long walk.
We're getting our Village of Outcast check, so we got a key in the first chest of Palace of Darkness. C-shaped house is a full heart container. We're gonna get our Bumper Cave check. It looks like we're heading in that direction with Divisine's right now. That is just money.
Hacksaw is now in the Dark World. All 4 of our feature runners now have Dark World access through Aghanim 1.
There's a better map check. I see crystals on the right side. I see a pendant at Thieves Town. So that's our third.
Thieves Town. There's our hammer. It wasn't the chess game. So Pendant Thieves Town 5-6 was in fact Skullwoods.
So at this point, we know for sure that Phyleon will not be able to finish Palace of Darkness. He will have to come back.
And I believe it was Megawatt who picked up the hammer. Now the Super Bomb's in Logic Room.
It is. And he's the runner who already cleared Skull Woods very quickly as well. So finding that hammer was a very good step for him. Now he can... Now my Pumpetuli prediction comes back into play here.
Silvers.
There's the silvers.
That is a great find when you still have a whole slew of bosses to defeat that are vulnerable to arrows.
Now, if you had not gone and done Eastern Palace first or gotten the bow out of the escape location, you would have actually gotten the regular bow at that location. It is available that way. You would have been able to get the original bow there. So, in that case, the silver arrows would have ended up at the escape location.
In other words, folks, one of the changes in version 31, the bows are now progressive.
Exactly.
Titan Smiths in Thieves Town in the big key chest.
Well, there is everything we need for Dark World anyway. So yeah, we knew that we had to go through Aghanim.
And are my eyes deceiving me? Do we just need flippers and mirror for go mode? Well, medallion spending, of course.
I was just looking at that as well. I was trying to determine that. I think it is flippers and mirror. You do need the mirror for Swamp Palace.
You need the flippers and the mirror for Swamp.
Yeah, flippers are needed there as well. So yeah, you can do almost everything except for Swamp Palace right now. I Actually, I think you can do everything except for Swamp Palace.
Well, again, medallion pending.
Oh.
We don't know the medallions from Mr. Meyer or Turtle Rock.
And Ice Palace may not come into play, but it's a pendant anyway, so we may not be worried about that yet, unless that is blocking the mirror, which is the only possibility at this point. The flippers could lead to the green pendant, which could lead to the mirror on Sahasrara for all we know. That's really the only kind of challenging scenario that we have left over at this point. Oh, and the boots locked desert.
Yeah. We need to find those boots as well. I almost forgot about that, actually. You can't exactly fight the Lambos without that big key.
No, exactly. Can't even get in the room.
Now, Firelands here is doing a double pixel perfect trick, known as the Hammer Young. And this one's also time sensitive because the bridge is collapsing underneath him from south to north.
He apparently was happy with the place, but he wanted to throw a bomb at an enemy for some reason. So now he has to set it up again.
No, he wanted the second bomb there to blow up the wall early.
Ah, but he didn't get thrown in the right direction. And what is in the dark maze? We have bombs.
Return on his investment. Digging minigame, meanwhile, from Megawatt.
That's a lot of digs. I haven't been counting.
There's at least 20 plus.
I just checked, 26.
Alright, basement of Palace of Darkness now. Meanwhile, Megawatt's checking the Stumpy.
This is one of these so-called secret rooms of Palace of Darkness. Because there's chests down here, there's not really much secret in it. Once you pick up any of the rupees here, if you leave the room, they all disappear. They're gone forever. So pick them up while you're here if you want them.
Yeah, 650 rupees though, doesn't really need the money.
No, not unless you have a hard time finding money for Zora or anything like that. You're not going to have an issue with that, especially because you need 100 to get in here. So you already have to use some of them just to get in here.
Well, all of our runners have already checked Zora at this point, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just saying in theory. It doesn't matter the seed anyway, but I was just saying in theory.
Alright, legacy or reputation. Let's see what Hype Cave has in store for us today.
I predicted Cave of Disappointment. That's a good start.
Good start for your thing, maybe.
Oh, that's good.
Bombs.
Yep, that's right.
More bombs.
Yep.
Heart container. Another heart container. Probably. I would give that like. Oh, it's not completely disappointing. The health is nice, but there's no progression there.
I would give that a 9 out of 10 on the disappointment scale. I agree the health is nice.
Actually, if I was to reverse that from an actual scale, it would have been a 1 out of 10, and that's exactly what I would give it as well.
Yeah, exactly. You get where I'm going with that.
Yeah. The health is nice, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And they know where red mail is, so if they're comfortable with blue mail, probably want a few more hearts. Probably somewhere around 12 or 14 to be 100% comfortable without having any sort of safeties.
Oh, look at this. We're getting our pyramid check. Here we go to the ferry. Asphalian gets his item of uselessness from the fish. Well, the heart maybe not useless, but
I mean, we know where the Sank heart was early, so all these are boss heart containers.
So what does Pyramid Ferry have? Do we have a good item here? Yep, 20 rupees. That's a great item, and a heart piece. That's a great item too.
All it was his fourth, so he's down the second row of health. So can't be too bad about that.
Yeah, a healthy seed, and we have red mail available, just not picked up because it was over in Beyond the Gap that no one wanted to cross.
And this will be a full clear of Palace of Darkness while you're in the area. Makes perfect sense. What do you think the next play will be for these runners? Cyclone?
I'm looking at the dungeons. We know the Swamp Palace is not available. Based on where Megawatt is right now, he's going to Palace of Darkness. Hacksaw's in that area right now. Divisign's doing Thieves Town. I like this play, even though there is one item locked by the hammer. You're playing on the gamble that that item is a dungeon item, so clearing Thieves Town to me is a good play. I think Divisign's is probably on a good guess here at this point. Ice Palace out of logic, so we're not going to look for the mirror flippers, obviously, there. At this point, I'm almost saying we we can't go to Eastside Dark Death Mountain or Misery Mire, so they're out of play. That pretty much leaves not much. I think it has to be Thieves Town.
What makes you say that Eastside Dark Death Mountain's not in play? We have the Titans. They're in Thieves Town.
Okay, I missed that we have the Titans bit. So yeah, that means Turtle Rock could be the play since we have the Titans bit. I missed that we picked that up. But yes, Megawatt does have that. And there it is for Divot Signs. Yeah, so Turtle Rock to me would be a good play at this point.
I would actually say... I don't think Turtle Rock would be the ideal play, but it would, because we don't know if the medallion is required as Quake. But definitely going up Dark Death Mountain to see what's up there is probably the good play. And if not, at least check the Mire medallion requirement first.
Keep in mind the Hookshot Cave is nearby Turtle Rock, so there is a good possibility that even if we don't have the medallion to go in Turtle Rock at this point, with the Titans bit, which I completely forgot we had there, with the Titans bit, we either have Misery Mire or Turtle Rock in play. Swamp Palace is not in play. Thieves Town is getting checked right now by Divot Signs, or he's left there now without finishing it. And Ice Palace is not in play either, so we are down to Mystery Mire and Turtle Rock at this point. Tower Hair is not available. Desert Palace is boost locked. So with so many dungeons out of play, Turtle Rock is the logical play in my opinion.
Hair is available. Or did you already?
Yeah, Hammer is available for Hair now. That's right.
It's easy to forget those one little items. I've done it so many times. Don't worry. I'm not going to judge.
But there's still the item density question. That's why Turtle Rock to me is a good play.
Yeah, I can see that. In terms of what I would expect from the seat, though, probably Misery Mire has the mirror nearby.
Yeah, there is the Mire Shed as well. That's a quicker check, so that is a valid suggestion as well.
Yeah, it's not as item dense, but it's a little. But it is a quick check.
And
regardless, they're gonna have to do 2 save forms, so it really depends on how many times you want to climb the mountain. I feel.
And you also can't check Checkerboard Cave, which also is. But again, it is a quick check because you can just flute back to there and mirror over once you get over there. So it does get the Misery Mire medallion check in. I wouldn't mind just checking the medallion, but I don't know if I would go into Misery Mire yet. Though they can if they wish to, as long as they have access to it.
Mm. Well, we'll see which of our runners decides to make the play in which order first. Looks like Megawatt's been heading over to Helmsburg. Oh, no, actually, no. Still some chests in the back to collect.
So Hacksaw does have his hammer. He will be able to complete Palace of Darkness. He is the only runner at this point who is going to be able to do that right now. Divot Signs can do that because he found his hammer, but he is not over Palace of Darkness at this point.
And this is a check we haven't seen yet. And it's something we didn't even think to consider, the Smith chain.
Well, reason we didn't consider it is because we don't have the mirror, but it is possible to get Jeremiah the Bullfrog and save and quit back to the Dark World. Or the Light World. That is possible, and that is what Divot Signs did. I gotta love the bug strats on Mothula.
Yeah, it doesn't work that well, but it's very easy to knock Mothula around like that.
Yeah, it forces him to be a little more honest, at least for a moment. And then the bee flies off and says, "I'm done. You do the rest."
So something I mentioned about the Mothula fight. Mothula only has the same amount of health as Helmsburg King. But the spikes can override the damage to be null and void because Mothula is immune to the spike damage.
Oh, Filing is in trouble here with 1 heart. He has to be very careful.
Yeah, those spikes do 1 whole heart of damage.
They got it.
Beautifully taken down.
And I was paying attention to that and didn't even see what the Smiths gave. I think we're gonna see that right now. He doesn't have it yet. So Smiths gave. That was a red boomerang.
They were supposed to fortress our temper sword, but they instead bent the metal.
Yeah, they're boomerang Smiths today. Looks like we are going to go get some potions. We don't have the mushroom yet, so we can't check the witch. And Divot Signs, you need to empty your bottle if you want to get a potion. There you go. Nice little bee for the witch.
Alright, so we're about to go see Helmstar King here on Megawatt side now. For real this time. I'm not calling it out too early.
And enemies that we like to call mimics, they are actually called gorillas, but they like to mimic your movement, which is why they affectionately called them.
Yeah. Strange that gorillas have lost their boomerang throwing capabilities from the earlier games.
I think this game was before that, wasn't it? In the timeline?
Maybe?
I think they learned how to use boomerangs between these games.
The timeline is a weird thing.
It is weird.
If we're going by release order, though, they lost that ability.
So Megawatt is in the basement of Palace of Darkness. He is on his way to the King. And I do not mean Elvis when I say that.
Just put the mental image in my head of Elvis Arcade doing an Elvis impersonation.
There's the hammer finally in. He's our third round to pick up the hammer on stream. And we're going to use that hammer right now on Megawatt screen to kindly encourage the Helmstar King to take off his mask and show his beautiful face. Why do we want him to show his beautiful face? Well, as soon as we gingerly remove this mask, we're going to show him what the true meaning of pain is by firing a single arrow into his skull, which missed. And now we're going to get it. And Megawatt takes him down, and that's why we want to see his beautiful face.
Yep, 17 hammer swings and 1 silver arrow to the gemstone on his forehead.
And null for magnetic circle.
But the second crystal... No, third crystal.
Third.
I'm sorry.
And Hacksog is the last runner on our restream to get the second crystal from Mothla, so all runners have those 2 crystals now. That and Eastern Palace. And now we got Elvis singing in chat. Nice. So for those of you joining us as we come up to about the 50-minute point here of the race, I am Cyclone, joined by Wolflink. This is a triple broadcast for those watching live. We also have 2 other broadcasts of this same race going on right now. 10 runners in total between this channel, Speed Gaming Francais, with some French commentary, and also ALTTP Randomizer, which has 2 additional runners on that channel. So you have 10 runners you can watch in tonight's race. Feel free to bring up those channels if you're watching live. Watch the race there along with these. And you can watch a lot of Zelda racing and get a good idea where everyone is in the field tonight. We are, of course, only going to comment on these 4 runners that we see here, however.
All right, so Megawatt looks to be making the play up the Turtle Rock here. Choosing the item density over all else, which is a good reason on its own, regardless.
This was the reason I said this is a good play.
No, gonna check Hera first.
Oh.
And this is actually the smarter play, actually. Now that I think about it, because without a mirror, this check would be isolated, and you'd have to climb the mountain again. Smart. As gotta check Ether as well.
I can see the reason for that.
Yeah. Now, of course, the item that we're gonna get from Ether, we would know what it is, but we shouldn't have it. Because, again, one of our swords is on the hobo under the bridge, which we need flippers.
Yeah, so if this is flippers or the mirror, then we know we're not supposed to have it yet. But it is not, so the logic is not really broken.
Yeah.
Unless you consider having extra money a break of logic.
Yeah, you can grind that.
Yeah, exactly. Yoda getting his big key.
First
Hacksaw.
item in Hera was just bombs. Didn't pick them up.
Hacksaw, the only runner not to get the hammer yet, but he is in the village right now. And if he goes to Treasure Game, he's going to go to Thieves Town first, it looks like. No, he's going to go to Treasure Game after opening Thieves Town. And this will give him his hammer.
And we're seeing a relatively new trick from Megawatt, the Hera Pot. This has been allowed by our racing committee these last few weeks, and well, you're about to see something kind of interesting. He does have the make key, so this is purely a time save at this point.
Oh, hello.
And immediately warped up to the second highest floor in the dungeon.
There you go, a bit of a time save. And he's going to bomb jump instead of using the hook shot. You can hook shot to that chest.
Yeah, but the hook shot would trigger the force switch tile, and thus you wouldn't be able to get back out.
Indeed.
Without having to go back downstairs, and really you lose most of your time save doing that.
Yeah.
So we chose the other option.
We are going to get the red bomb check from Philion at the pyramid.
We've already...
And everyone, say hello to everyone's favorite pet worm, Moldorm, who likes to play, seriously likes to play. He likes to push you around and see if he can get you into the pit so you can fall down to another floor and have to come back and play with him again.
Yeah, Moldorm likes playing King of the Hill.
Yeah, he's the King of the Hill player, definitely. But he doesn't get to play this time. He loses the fight, and we get a key out of him.
So I didn't see the second item there in Hera, which was in the basement.
That means coffee break.
Thankfully, the coffee break's easy enough to set up for. Standing on top of the pegs, making yourself invincible. All Mega would have to do is use the King of Samaria to remotely activate the crystal switch when he's in position. But choosing to leave.
You have to be careful with standing... Well, actually, we're not going to talk about it because he's leaving. But I was going to say you have to be careful with that, though, because you can soft lock on the peg if you're in the wrong spot. That is possible. In the meantime, though, he is going to Turtle Rock. Actually, I think the Hookshot Cave might be his objective once he gets to the Turtle Rock area before going into Turtle Rock. So I think Hookshot Cave first. Also see if he can open Turtle Rock.
Unfortunately, Philion did not dip Thieves Town while he was in the area, so does not have the Titan's Mitts, which is unfortunate.
Now, those pegs have to be hit in a specific order on Megawatt's side. You have to hit right, top, left in that order. Otherwise, the portal will not appear. We can open Turtle Rock. Looks like it's the Bombos Medallion today. And he's going to head over to Hookshot Cave before going in, I'm going to bet.
So, with Bombos, that means Turtle Rock is full clearable. Probably going to check the surrounding area first, then.
That's what I said, yep. He's heading over to Hookshot Cave, like I suggested. He can't get the item on the island in the Light World, so that's not available. Actually, he's not doing the Hookshot Cave yet. He's going downstairs first to check Super Bunny Cave.
Something to mention about those pegs. If for some reason you do get the pattern wrong, they will actually make a buzzer sound.
Yeah, you have to leave the screen and go back on the on that you were saying. And going to the Dark World and back, if you have a portal, will not reset the pattern. You have to actually leave the screen to reset the pattern.
All right. Okay, what do you got for us? Please do something good.
How about the boots?
How about our flippers?
Or nothing.
Nothing is an option. Put it all in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but it was nothing, just hearts.
I mean, at that ideal health total, like I mentioned, 14 hearts blue mail is pretty safe, actually.
14 hearts blue mail is a lot for Turtle Rock. Because if you consider that you would have 11 hearts off of bosses by the time you get here, normally not counting the heart piece. I think it's 11 hearts. It could be a little more. You're actually over health for Turtle Rock at this point. So it should be easy to clear Turtle Rock with the blue mail at this point.
Yeah, I believe NMG fights Ganon with 14 hearts free. Or at least from the last I saw of it.
The first chest in Turtle Rock has the flippers!
Which puts our Master Sword officially in logic.
You can now wield the Master Sword without knowing that you are in logic.
So it's Mirror for Go mode, and our runners have the nicety to know that it cannot be in Swamp House because that is hard locked by the mirror. However, Correct. It could still be in Ice Palace because the flippers opened up Ice Palace logically for the mirror to be placed.
Yeah, the mirror is the one thing that could be on Sahasrara at this point. So we could have to do Ice Palace, defeat Cold Stare just to go get the mirror off Sahasrara. That is a possibility.
Now, one other possibility is it's in Misery Mire.
Interrupt you for a sec. We're getting our coffee break from Philion, and we are going to get see what the item is. Go ahead.
Well, like I was saying, we could still be in Misery Mire, but we don't know. And We're not gonna know for what feels like a good while.
Yep.
Finally getting knocked out the pegs here.
He started to run around for a little while, but then he decided, you know what, I'm going to activate this, and then he fell inside, so he has to deal with all the tiles.
Yeah, thankfully just holding your sword and poking them from the left works for all but the one tile in the upper right corner of the bunch. Gets through it though,
Okay.
and we're about to see what we have here.
So light 4 torches, ignore the skeletons, well, except he killed that one by chance. What do we have? We have arrow.
So Megawatt bailing out of Hera was a good play. Axel Mima has defeated Moldorm, third crystal of his run.
And we get to see the bunny sprite from Megawatt from the bunny beam. And what do we have on the other side of this transport area? We have a piece of heart.
So if I'm doing my item count right, that's 2 of the 5 items here in Turtle Rock.
Isn't it 4, not counting Mimic Cave?
No, it is 5.
Oh, it is 5? Okay.
The only dungeon to have 4 is Thieves Town.
Okay.
However, Megawatt may not be able to get... Well, no, it doesn't really matter what the mimics have, do they? Because they can't have the mirror, and
yeah, we can't get to Mimic Cave yet. So yeah, there's no reason to check the mimics.
The worst case scenario is the mimics have the boots. Actually, now that I think about it, we haven't gone to boots.
Oh, that would be awful. But the boots could be here. Finally, can we make the right play on Spike Cave? Let's find out. Nope, just bombs. There's a key in the big chest.
I completely forgot the boots were required. I always forget one item.
It happens.
Seems to be a common occurrence with me. Alright, Crystal Roller Room coming up here. If this is a small key, we can go straight to Tridex, but we're still looking for an item, so we would definitely...
May not want to go straight to Tridex.
Yeah. There's our third item, so there is at least one item on Laser Bridge guaranteed.
Possibly 2.
Yeah. And if it's not 2 items on Laser Bridge, try and access the other item by process of elimination.
And if we don't find the other progress here, I'm going to suggest Misery Mire might be the next play. In fact, it's the only other crystal, so it would be the next play.
And yeah, so I'm bringing a point on chat. Mimic Cave could also be the Quake Medallion. We don't know the medallion from Misery Mire just yet. It could be Quake required for the seed.
Yeah, if it is Quake, then we could be going dungeon dipping in the Pennant Dungeons just to find a Quake Medallion. So we'll find that out when we get there. But that would be the next play to check that and check the Mire Shed while we're there.
Versus Laser Bridge is the heart piece, 1 item left. Second chest is 10 arrows.
So we have our items.
I don't think Megawatt's been counting.
No, he knows he has to get a key. This is the key.
Alright, so should be ready to go now.
Finally getting his map from Thieves Town. Let's see if we actually have our first Thieves Town clear coming here. Valiant might, at this point, try to clear it completely. It looks like he is, unless he's doing a death warp. Nope, he's actually happy with the Titans, but he's going to leave. No one completing Thieves Town. What if the boots or the mirror are located in Thieves Town, and none of our runners stopped to pick that up, and someone not on the restream did?
Oh no. Oh no. I just realized something, and I'm not going to say it.
I'm going to make you say it now.
We can clear all the 3 pendant dungeons.
We can.
And the mirror could be on pedestal as a result.
It can be. What is our Misery Mire? Oh, I didn't get a good look, but there it is.
It's Ether.
Misery Mire, so we can get into Misery Mire.
Alright, so it's mirror and boots for go mode, and boots can't be on the pyramid because we need them for desert. We've already confirmed that. So if we find the mirror, pet is dead. But if we don't find the mirror, this could be a pet Agassi. I don't want that on our runners. Aga's bad enough. However, I cannot deny that it's a possibility. Violet's still with the fighter sword as well.
We have Chad already reacting very nicely to the Aga pet possibility.
And just to remind folks in chat, we do need the boots because the Desert Palace Big Key is on the torch.
Desert Palace is a pendant.
That's right. We don't need the pendant.
Boots cannot be on the pedestal.
Yeah, boots can't be on the pedestal, but who's to say they're not required for something else?
Yeah, we could find the boots here in Misery Mire, for example, and then that makes all of the dungeons completable. Chad is already calling for vanilla boots. For those not familiar, that means Sahasrara would have to have the boots.
And something else. Well. So I'm noticing that everyone here now has their silver arrows. I had to look at the HUD.
Yeah, David Signs would have gone through the area where that was. I think it was in Palace of Darkness. He did do Palace of Darkness, so he would have the silver.
Yeah, he definitely has the silvers. Silver arrow on the HUD as well as the silver arrow model in his menu.
David Signs having a little trouble with the King of Samaria block there. Does get his 20 rupees though. Gonna wait for the roller.
Megawatt making the call. Pendant Ice Palace is the play for him.
He's doing that before Misery Mire, looks like. That's very interesting.
Indeed. Might be thinking of something suspicious. We already know one guy who's here in Misery Mire, so I suppose it's in the worst play with 3 items.
Oh, he never found the flute.
Ah, that's right. He hasn't turned into that shovel yet.
That would make sense. He can't go to Misery Mire. He doesn't know that he can get into Misery Mire with the flute.
No. First item is the blue boomerang. Here in Ice Palace. Is the second item here in Misery Mire? It is not, but it is a small key, which means, I believe, according to key logic in Misery Mire, that means the big key is vanilla.
Well, we'll get a confirmation of that in just a moment here.
Alright, Stalfos room here for Megawatt. Beautifully executed.
And now we get to wait for a wall to move. So, how's your day going, Wolflink?
Honestly, could be better.
Oh, okay. And we're done moving the wall, I think. So, maybe. There we go. Back to the race. There's your vanilla big key.
Alright, Megawatt's now on the floor where the majority of the items are here in Ice Palace. So we're about to see if the mirror is down here.
And let's remember, if the mirror is down here, that's not go mode for him because he doesn't have the flute, but we would be pretty much in no mode at that point.
Yes. Now, the one thing we don't want to see, ironically, is the boots this time around, because the boots puts the pedestal in logic.
The boots would be unnecessarily evil at this point. You never thought you'd be slowed down by finding the boots, did you? We'll come back to that chest in a moment. So this is a chest that some people, on their first run trying to play the game, if there's an item here, they easily miss this chest. You have to do a lot of steps to make this chest appear. That switch in the lower corner, and then you have to pull the tongue to actually open the door. So you might pull the door and think there's the tongue and think there's nothing in there, move on. You have to actually push that switch to make the chest appear.
Alright, so this chest is the big heap. Still 2 items at large here in Ice Palace.
And the big chest is now open.
And I believe we haven't seen this. I don't think we saw the second item on Phileon's end.
I don't think so either. I think it is on Vitreous.
So we'll see what that is in a moment. Vitreous will die, of course, very quickly to the silver arrows. Second item in Ice Palace is a heart piece.
You're absolutely right. I don't think you're normally supposed to have the silver arrows at this point, and there's a reason you're not supposed to normally have the silver arrows at this point, because it basically murders bosses. You're going to see a good demonstration of that in about 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, the only boss you can actually fight the silver arrows with, at the earliest point, is Trinex, and Trinex is immune to arrows anyway.
And Gan, of course, but we weren't going to factor that one in. So here we are, going into the Vitreous fight right now. And the reason we talk about that, the silver arrows are locked normally by Vitreous. That's why you don't have the silver arrows here. So we're going to vaporize these eyeballs with some Visine arrows. And, well, those were eyeballs. So now we have Vitreous itself coming out, and 2 arrows later instead.
Second item is another 5 rupee. Misery Mire, rather, was not the play.
Nope.
Still 2 items here in Ice Palace. Let's see what we find.
We have Hacksaw and Trinex right now. Megawatt, of course, did finish Trinex already, so we know that Turtle Rock is cleaned out. And this was not an item anyway. We already have all the items.
Should be the second item here. Heart Container.
So we've only seen 2 items here so far?
2 items in the Ice Palace so far that I have seen. Which makes me exceedingly worried.
Well, Cold Star could be the item.
Yeah, Cold Star can be the item, but...
I think it has to be. Did he open the big chest? Or did he skip Ice Tea room?
Big chest was the heart container.
At Ice Tea?
Did not check Ice Tea, I don't think,
Okay,
no.
so if this is not the item, Ice Tea could have an item. Oh, he did Ice Tea according to chat, so this... If that was a dungeon item, then yeah, this would have to be in the 3rd item. Nicely done with the fire rock.
Down. Green Pendant will be another item later, but for now he gets the small key.
It wasn't an item. We must have seen the 3rd item somewhere.
If you picked it up, I didn't see it.
I didn't either. I was watching Vitreous. Or according to chat, maybe we were right. He just skipped Ice Tea. He is not going to go back in. So if he did not get the 3rd item, he is not going to get it now.
Yeah, the routing Hacksaw chose was, or not Hacksaw, sorry, Megawatt. Yeah, did not allow for an easy Ice Tea check because he went straight to the right side of the dungeon. So
Phileon doing the play of checking Hookshot Cave. He did open Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's out of the back of Thieves Town. As you can see, also here's the harder eastern area with all these guards. A lot of red ones too. So it's either this green pendant turn-in, it's the back of... Nope, there it is, there's the mirror. That is a huge mirror for Megawatt. Head is now dead. Needs to go dig up the flute, and it's go mode for Megawatt.
Now, if that was the vanilla boots, that would have been very much more disgusting. But seeing the mirror there is very good news. At 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 25 seconds, we are in no mode, but we don't have any runner yet in go mode. We just know where everything is. We know how to go through the seed at this point. The runners just have to put the pieces together.
Now the question is, when will Megawatt check the dig spot? That is where the flute is.
Exactly. He has to find his way over the dig spot. The question is when he'll do that.
That is by far the rudest spot for the mirror to be.
Very, very rude, definitely.
Yeah, that's going to trip up a lot of runners here. Megawatt is in the driver's seat right now.
Well, Megawatt is going to complete the Swamp Palace very, very clearly at this point. That mirror put it immediately on his radar. But he needs the flute to get to Misery Mire, and this could send him still to, let's see, to actually, yeah, the only other pendant dungeon he can do is Thieves' Town. This could send him back to Thieves' Town, looking at the items we've not seen yet out in the back of Thieves' Town. Maybe that's where the boots are. That could send him to Desert Palace, and that could be a bit of a waste of time for him if that's the chain that we end up on.
Well, if I was in Megawatt's shoes at this stage with what he's got, if I'm heading to Thieves' Town, I would make sure to check Case Alpha Grove as well as anything along the way, which includes the dig spot. So he will find that flute if he follows that line of logic.
Exactly. Yeah, well, there's our Quake.
Quake first chest of Swamp Palace.
So at least he knows he can get in Misery Mire now.
Oh, he's also going to waste a little bit of time here in Swamp Palace. I just realized he doesn't go mode it.
Meanwhile, speaking of Misery Mire, Divicines is vaporizing Vitreous. Well, not as quickly. He missed a couple of shots, but all the eyes are down. Now just take out the big one. There it goes.
At least Divicines didn't have wait too long to kill the eyes because you could get a lightning shot cycle from Vitreous on phase 1, and that does eat up a little bit more time because he'll do that and Pep finishes his entire animation before he ever becomes vulnerable with the silver arrows.
That is correct. That can waste a little bit of time. Finally, I'm going through Chompy's room. Megawatt making his way to the southern room, in the single southern room in Swamp Palace in the basement. And that's actually the 10 bomb pack that you can get in standard mode as an item from the Uncle. That would be the item you would use as a weapon in Escape in standard mode. Of course, we're not playing standard mode, so Uncle does not have to have a weapon.
Indeed.
And opening that door, but that's not the door we want. The door we want is over here on this side. That was a nice heart piece for Filey and refilled his health.
Yeah, very nice, this dungeon. Alright, Megawatt finds the map and the magic powder. That's a great safety to have. And that's just going to be one more... Actually, that's one more thing to put him on the trail of the magic bat. To put him on the trail of going to check this area.
There's better odds he checks that chain now. I think you're right. See, I think his plan was to Swamp Palace and then mirror over to check. So on his way up to Thieves' Town, I think that's what his plan was, as you suggested. But for that reason, that means he's also not going to be going Swamp Palace, which means he's checking a lot of items in here he doesn't need to check. But this is the logical way to do it.
Now, another thing Megawatt could do is just head straight to Thieves' Town from a save and quit.
Well, first we're going to fight Argus, the best fishing squid in the universe.
Yeah, these Argai puffs protect him from attacks. 2 slashes or 1 spin will take care of them with Master Sword. Getting some nice doubles there. Only 1 left.
Oh, that one got back.
That one and
got back again. Very, this one's being a pain, but finally gets it down. Now it's got to wait for it to stop thinking and actually come to attack you, and here it goes. And that was quick.
Down goes Argus.
Very, very speedy, and that's just some arrows.
Well, got a return on his investment, if nothing else. Alright, where are you going, Megawatt? This is the moment of truth.
This is your moment of decision right here. This shall determine your speed.
K45 with the mirror code. Gotta be checking the Haunted Grotto as well. This is the play he needs to make. He's gonna be in go mode very shortly.
He's gonna go K45, then Stumpy, and then the flute spot, which ironically has the flute.
You could just check K45, but that would be a bad idea. Yep. All right.
Now
made the...
Unless he already checked Stumpy when he didn't have, when he might walk through earlier, but I don't know if he did or not. Nope, he must have checked Stumpy already. He's mirroring right over.
Yeah. And at 1 hour, 18 minutes and change, Megawatt is now officially in go mode. As soon as he gets that flute activated, he is ready to go fight Misery Mire and is ready to ascend the tower.
1:18:06 is his official go mode, and as you said, just has to go activate the flute, go to Misery Mire, doesn't even have to worry about the Mire Shed, can go straight to Misery Mire, go straight to the back once he gets the big key from its vanilla location, and he's off to Gans Tower. Meanwhile, Valiant taking on Trinex. This will be his 5th crystal. Diviscience is on 6 crystals. He's back. He's in Tower Hero right now checking the basement. Hacksaw, meanwhile, is in Misery Mire, and this will be his 5th crystal.
Alright, Megawatt's getting the flute online. Trinex down for Phylon. Megawatt has just broken away. Like, of most of the restream, I think it's a clear-cut victory for him.
Yeah, in terms of our restream, I think you're absolutely right. Now, again, we do have 10 runners being broadcast on different channels. We're not seeing the other 6 runners or anyone else in the race. But of the 4 on our restream, yes, we are seeing that he is significantly ahead of these other 3 runners at this point. And just by the way that the route worked out for him.
And with all 3 medallions, he is safe here to check and use whatever medallion he needs. And I don't blame him for checking chests along the way. He's looking for, ideally, a Tempered Sword to have easier time in his Ganon fight, because a Master Sword Silver fight is not exactly the fastest way, so finding a Tempered Sword along the way would be a really helpful thing. Unfortunately... Sorry, go ahead. Unfortunately, as we know, no Tempered Sword has been sighted at all this season. Yep. So it's either in the back of Thieves Town, or the remaining 2 swords are in the tower itself.
Or it could be locked on Land Molas. Could be locked on Land Molas too. But I was thinking that there's 1 independent dungeon, 1 in Gans Tower, most likely at this point. That's the proportion I would expect at this point. But it is possible both could be in Gans Tower before we get to the big key.
We'll get to that big key in a moment, folks.
Megawatt finding the $5 on the spike chest there. The game expects you, if you were trying to do a no damage run, for example, the game expects you to have your cape or your Cane of Burna activated in order to access that chest. But runners here, they just walk on it. They don't care.
Someone just put a thought in my head. We may not be actually no mode yet. Very slim chance.
This is a very good point. The key could be on the torch in Gans Tower. That could be it.
We won't know until we see it.
So we're going to call that faux mode.
Yeah. It could be boots required for the seed after all.
And that could be the reason why Megawatt is still opening chests. He's looking for the boots just to be safe. Plus, it makes him go fast.
Yeah, boots for the guaranteed fit clear of Ganon's Tower. Tempered Sword just having easier Ganon fight and a fast one as a result. Phylon is making the correct play, as is Diviscience going into Ice Palace. The mirror is here. Well, technically. The mirror is actually on the green pendant turn in which this is the prize you get from Ice Palace tonight.
So Megawatt is doing the torches right now. He will get his big key. And after what was pointed out in chat, I would not be surprised if he keeps checking chests after this.
Yeah.
comment in chat that someone has never seen boots in GT with boots required. I have a clip of that.
I've seen it too, actually.
Yeah, I made the clip of that when I saw it in a race, so I definitely have that clip if that person wants to see it later.
I mean, I saw it on one of my practice scenes. It wasn't even the clip. And Megawat's making the right play here. He's going to go straight to the boss. We'll get the second item so he knows that nothing else in Thieves, or Mr. Meyer rather, sorry, will have items for him to pick up, so he can move on to Ganon's tower.
Yep. Now, if we do see the big key on the torch, oh boy. It's still anyone's game at that point. But if the big key is not on the torch, then Megawatt will be doing chest counting.
Alright. Megawatt on his way to the boss. Phyleon and Divisine's both in Ice Palace, looking the way to get down. Hacksaw, meanwhile, is fighting Helmser King finally.
Phyleon and Divisine's are on the correct path, but to be honest, there's not really many other paths they can take at this point. Divisine's has 6 crystals. Phyleon could do Palace of Darkness, but he is doing Ice Palace first, because he wants to probably do Palace of Darkness while he's checking what Sahasrara has.
I just remembered, we did not find the third item here in Ice Palace.
Gonna interrupt you, Hacksaw, or can I interrupt you, Wolflink? Hacksaw has gotten his 7th crystal. We are now going, most likely at this point, to Ganon's tower and hoping that the big key is not on the torch. But ladies and gentlemen in chat. What?
Hacksaw doesn't have the mirror.
He has to have the mirror. He just, or did he not just want Palace?
No.
Oh, I mean Megawatt. Sorry, I'm saying the wrong name. My apologies. I'm just saying the wrong name.
Megawatt now has the final crystal.
Has the 7th crystal. That's who I meant to say.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a game we like to play. There are 22 chests in Ganon's tower, but only one of them in the basement can have the big key we see. Give us a number in chat and tell us where you think the big key is today. We're not going to run the game officially here, so this is all just for fun.
Well, after I said the wrong name, you took that from me. I'm giving my normal guess that's always 11, because always.
Hope Room. I'll make him to get blessed by the seed for not having to go find those boots.
We do have some guesses of one thinking he's going to go to the left and find on the torch.
What is there to say about that? I expected that, to be perfectly honest, but I don't wish it upon him.
I would not be surprised to see the boots in Ganon's tower with the key on the torch at this point. I mean, we had to go get the mirror off Sahasrara. It wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised either, to be perfectly honest. And really, where else can they be except for Thieves Town?
Thieves Town or on Land Molas. I don't think we've seen both items in Desert Palace.
The boots cannot be on Land Molas because Land Molas is locked by the boots.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, good point.
So it would have to be Thieves Town or the Magic Map. We have not checked either one of those locations.
Thieves Town or Batman. And did we see what was on the island on Death Mountain?
We did. Also, we haven't checked many of the mirror checks with like Graveyard Ledge or Mimic Cave either.
Right. Mirror checks. And obviously Bonk Rocks can't be it because the boots would be needed for that.
Alright.
And the eyes get away from Phyleon. So, nice dodge of the Lionel beams there. This one's going to be a little harder, though. Nice done. Nicely. Phyleon getting his pendant from Ice Palace. He's going to head over to the Palace of Darkness area and do Palace of Darkness while he's checking on Sahasrara.
Axon now entering Ice Palace. And Megawatt has made the stairs appear and is now entering Ganon's tower. Where is the big key?
And guesses shall now cease as he goes right. And we're going to get our first 2 chests over here on the right side.
The Hope Room. I'm hoping it's here. No pun intended.
You would hope
small key. 2 small keys.
You had way too much hope.
But he's going to go full right to start.
Of course, going to skip Tower Room. So another torch puzzle here, but this is a bit of a long trek to get to the various torches. And there it is, get in the door. And onwards.
Nice and clean.
And drop the switch and onwards.
All right,
So here's
3, 4,
number
5, and
3.
6.
3 is a piece of heart. 4 is money. 5 is a dusty old map. 6 is the temper sword. We have our bacon blade.
Meanwhile, Fireland is now in Go mode. Div Designs has the green pendant.
Well, again, we still have to get a look at Ganon's Tower Torch. We're going to find out in a moment if it is for sure Go mode. We're about to see the GT Torch. Will the boots be required to complete Ganon's Tower today? Let's find out right now.
They are not required.
No.
It is a piece of heart.
So it is official Go mode for Megawatt now. And chat is showing us displeasure at the scenario.
So what's the boots anyway? I don't blame you. There it is.
There's the big key, number 8.
That was chest number 7, I believe.
8 because the torch counts. And we checked out the boots!
Sabre is the big key. Let's go.
So who said get the boots anyway? He got them, so we can move on now.
Yeah, you're right. It was chest 8. And chest 11 had the boots.
So I win. No, well, yeah, I'll take that.
And did anyone guess 8 in chat?
I'm just looking right now to find out. But carrying on, we are going to go into the gauntlet right now, and that is supposed to be the hardest series rooms in the game, but not really that hard when you have a blue
someone
mail
guess
and
8,
16
actually.
hearts. We did. I was going to get to that in a moment. Do you want to announce her?
As it Panzer General guessed 8. First person to guess correctly. Congratulations to you.
So, Wolflink, you get to tell them what our prize is today.
I don't remember. I thought you had the prize.
Oh, I was told you were getting the prize. Well, I guess we don't have a prize. Sorry about that.
I mean, I said it was all in good fun. And then you brought up the mention of a prize, so where's the prize, Cyclone?
Our love and affection. I was trying to make you be creative. Come on.
I was creative. I pinned it on you.
Anyway, staying with the race here, we are coming to the end of the first part of the gauntlet here. We are in a room with the BMOs on ice. BMOs on ice, that's the Disney musical you will not see, as we now come to the Lamolas 2 fight, which is kind of ironic because we did not see the Lamolas 1 fight, which we can now access with the boots. And we're not going to go do that.
Alright, Wizard floor now for Megawatt here. Going through. Divisigns and Fireland both are now also in Go mode. Hacksaw close on the heels here. But Megawatt just has a huge lead going forward. Did not quite get the 1 cycle here in the 4 Wizard room. Kind of a room to do it.
Not perfect, but still doesn't take long to clear once you get the first 3 out. And now, have to pick a couple skull pots here, light a few more torches. If we run out of magic here, that would be very bad.
There's just enough magic in the pots here to have 1 shot at the torch.
That's right.
Now, I'd still say Megawatt is probably going to actually just win this race outright. He did go right first with the big key, but in return, he got the Tempered Sword, which will make his Ganon fight that much faster.
It will. You don't have to spin it Ganon.
Well, you're going to spin again, but it'll be a lot more effective.
You don't have to, but that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So here we are on Moldorm 2. You know, remember we said Moldorm likes to play? He's back to play more.
Yeah, the arena's slightly different. Shaped like a bat, actually.
Significantly different. And that makes sense, because we are in Ganon's Tower, and he turns into a bat.
For a second, I thought Megawatt was going to be crazy and hover the pit, but no.
I thought it was going to be crazy and open the chest.
I mean, if he was still on Master Sword, I would expect him to open the chest to see if
Yeah,
Temper was in it,
same.
but that's it.
Same. So here we are on agonometry, as some have called it. Trigonometry fight, as I've called it. We have more blue balls, possibly. Well, not likely today because we didn't have a lot in the initial fight, but we have two that will always fire orbs, one that could fire blue balls.
Yeah.
There's a blue ball. We actually do have one. So I think we only have maybe one hit so far on this fight.
Yeah, there's the second one right there.
Two blue balls. There's another hit.
3. Only 3 hits thus far, unfortunately. Aghanim shot got eaten by the wall. 4,
Yep,
5,
that's
6.
a triple.
Nice cleanup there.
That was a
Aghanim
nice
2
triple.
down. It is now time to fight the pig.
Yes, it is time for the big pig. And that means we, when we go to fight the big pig, that means that our nice side of ham has something interesting to say to us. So what kind of words of wisdom will Ganon have for us today when we drop in to face him? We're about to find out what his words of the day are. As Megawatt drops in to start the Ganon fight, gonna go and get some quick early hits in as he goes up. There's the first hit already, and we find out that he might like to go to the show and something to do with Space Cadets.
Yeah. I forget, is that a song or a quote from a show?
I am not familiar with that quote.
I'm not familiar with it either.
Anyway, the phases of Ganon, he throws a trident at you. After that, he creates these magic fire circles. These magic fire circles eventually turn into bats that home in on you, and you can just run and avoid them, or turn into invisible being that it passes through one way or the other. It turns out Megawatt did not get enough hits on this second cycle to get the Temper Tantrum mode, which is our third phase. He should be in that mode now. I think he has enough hits. Yes, he's warping around now. So we're now in what I call the Temper Tantrum phase. Hit him with the sword after he stops warping. He takes some floor tiles out. If you fall in there, you fall down to the lower floor of the pyramid. You have to head back out and come up and start the fight again.
Yeah, it is 12 hits for the first 2 phases, 1 hit for this phase, and then once we get to the final phase, it is time for the darkness technique. We'll have to keep the torches lit as Ganon shoots fire bats and teleports around the room. Also, his teleports, as we forgot to mention, are fixed.
So, he almost fell in, and we're gonna go for torch push now. No, he isn't. He just went for the quick hits instead.
Double.
2. That's a double. Yeah, that's a double. That's a coffee fight right there. So Megawatt is finished, and we're gonna get his time once he crosses. He just has to cross a 1x3 bridge to finish the race.
Either GG's in chat for Megawatt, the winner of the restream here tonight, and I am pleased to tell you, he won the race.
He won the race.
Finished in first place with a time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, 19 seconds. That early Ice Palace play locked that in for him easily.
That was a very good play. Very good play. Yes, very impressive when you have a stream of or a race with some 70 runners on it, and you make that one play, and it ends up being the one play that wins you the race. That was a fantastic play. It paid off for him tonight. Winner of the race on our restream tonight.
And we are now joined by Megawatt, who has won this race. Congratulations once again. GG. What went through your mind when you made that Ice Palace play? I have to know.
So after Turtle Rock, I was like 5 crystals with, what, like 2 or 3 items for Go Mode? Or no, I just found the flipper, so it was just Mirror and Flute for Go Mode. So my 3 big options I felt were Thieves Town plus the Smith Chain, Desert Palace plus Desert Ledge and Ignis Cave, and Ice Palace. And so like I decided on Ice Palace in that situation for 2 reasons mainly. One, because I had just found the flippers in Turtle Rock, so it was in a bit deeper of a sphere than access to either Thieves Town or Desert Palace. And 2, like I could have done Thieves Town or Desert Palace quite a while before I did Turtle Rock, so I figured that likely meant that other people probably had already gone and done that, so it felt like the best idea was just to go forward with the next step, if that makes any sense. So like, because I don't see a lot of people dipping Pen and Ice Palace without the flippers. So I figured, like, I got the flippers, let's follow them in the Pen and Ice Palace.
The seed did seem to be suggesting to go over there as well. I know in a qualifier, a lot of players might make the call that that's a risky play. You want to stay with most of the field so you don't fall too far back with a play like that. But it was just fortunate that the play just worked out this time.
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, every single one of those plays is bad. Like, none of them are a good play. They all might work, but none of them will most likely work, if that makes any sense. And they're all wastes of time if they turn up nothing. So it's just pick one of 3 and get lucky, and you win. And that's what happened for me, fortunately.
Indeed. And I'm not sure how much of desert you explored, but it was in fact boots locked. The torch was on, had the big key tonight.
I did not ever step into desert. I was about to.
Yeah.
That was going to be my play after Swamp Palace. I wanted to go pick off K45 and dig spot, and then go back and commit to desert, get Bombo, Skinas, Desert Ledge, and full clear.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to finish desert, so it worked out. Well, you could have mirrored back to it, but you would still need the big key to get in. The big key was on the torch, and the boots were in Gans Tower. There was no way you were getting in there without going to Gans Tower.
Speaking of which, Divinsigns just grabbed the big key and left those boots behind. He doesn't even know they're there.
Oh, well, he probably is, assuming he's done now and watching us, he probably will be aware the boots are in that room now. Knowing that they are on a 20-minute delay, so the runners may be watching by the time you see him in Gans Tower. So other than the Ice Palace play, what were your thoughts on the seed overall, Megawatt?
Overall, I thought it was pretty alright. Like, up until Turtle Rock, I think, my route was just really, really solid. Like, everything kind of flowed together well. It wasn't Agaseed, but it gave me everything I needed to, like, except for the mirror, of course, to not really leave anything behind on my route, kind of counterclockwise around the Dark World. I was able to full clear Skullwoods. I got my mitts in the front of Thieves Town and bailed, which was the right call. So I was able to then follow up with, well, I didn't immediately, but after Pod, I followed up with Dark Death Mountain, picked off Hera because I had left that behind with the hammer earlier, and then when I was able to go full clear Turtle Rock. Only after that did the seed get kind of like did it kind of get into a mess.
Well, you were the first runner to solve that mess, and that's what mattered today. And speaking of, we should probably take a quick look and see who else might be finishing the seed at this point. We're at about 1 hour, 39 minutes, and almost at 1:40 at this point. So runners who have finished now, it looks like we have Asder coming in second, about a minute behind with a 1:36.18. And Chisame came in with a 1:39.09. So that's who we have so far finished, our top 3.
GG's.
Yeah, meanwhile here, folks, we do have Divinsigns on their way through the Wizard floor of Ganon's Tower. Baileon about to pick up the big key in Ganon's Tower. And Hacksaw on his way into Ganon's Tower as well. So, pretty close race between our 3 remaining restream runners.
I don't think I saw Fillion grab the boots, did he?
Baileon did not.
Everyone went left right away, didn't grab the boots. Except for, oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to ask you, maybe. What were your reactions to the boots being in the big key room?
Considering they were like the only thing I was looking for that would make a significant difference with the rest of the seed, I was pretty happy about it.
That might have been something that helped you defeat Asder as well. I don't know if Asder got the boots or not, and he's not obviously in our chat with us to ask him that, but assuming he didn't get the boots, that gave you the edge you needed to get that extra minute victory on him. So that turned out to be a fantastic pickup for you. Now, if he did have the boots, then he just got to the big key first. I think Asder is in our chat, though, and he is saying he did get the boots, so it looks like you were on even pegging for the boots.
So, without us realizing, we had a very tight execution finish.
We did. And now Divinsigns is fighting Moldorm 2. From our restream runners, looks like he would be our second runner to make it to Aghanim and eventually to Ganon. Barring any problems here, and with 12.5 hearts, I don't predict any. Or 11.5 hearts, sorry.
And Hacksaw has the big key now. but he is the only one of the featured 4 runners on our end, at least, that did not go right. He is going to have a Master Sword Ganon.
Oh boy.
And we don't know where that 4th sword was, either. It must have been in Thieves Town,
No.
I think.
Yeah, I'm imagining Thieves Town or one of the remaining chests in Ganon's Tower. It could be any of those. Because we had 11 chests in the basement that were not checked, and we have a few upstairs as well, including Moldorm's chest at this point. I don't think Divison has checked that. Covering a couple additional finishers here. Faraimi finished with a 140-30, and then 1 second later, Zelgadisson with a 140-31. We had a 1 second difference between those two fantastic runners in this community.
It looks like, according to the chat, the 4th sword was actually in the Ice Armors, apparently.
Oh, Ice Armors. So someone did go all the way back there looking for a sword, apparently.
Alright, well now it's time for Divisize to do it. Megabot, I'm gonna go ahead and I don't have anything more to ask you. So any final thoughts of this evening before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your night?
I mean, I've already given my final thoughts. The start of it was pretty good, routed very well and very smoothly. The end of it was one big pick and get lucky between 3 different options, which is considerably less enjoyable, but it still worked out.
Yeah,
Did you
came out of the right play. Yep, so thank you again, and good for joining us, and congratulations again on that first place finish. Good luck in the rest of these qualifiers.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you for having me on for an interview.
Indeed.
Alright. Divisize now in the 3rd phase of Ganon. And Phyleon and Hacksaw rushing to the top of Ganon's tower. They're literally a floor apart right now. So it's going to be close between those two. Any mistakes could be a problem.
Yeah, between those two, it's going to be close. And we've already covered our top 5 finishers. Divisize does have a good chance. Top 10 finish at this point. So we are going to see how he does on this Ganon fight. He does go for the torch glitch. He almost fell in. Came very close, but he's going to get a... No, didn't get a triple. Got a double. He'll take the extra hit here, and that's enough. So that is 4. That is Ganon dead for him, and we're going to see how he fared. Did he make it into the top 10 in one of those 5 remaining spots? We'll cover that in just a moment, as Divisize has a 1x3 bridge to cross, and he'll be our second runner on the restream to finish. And overall, he comes in 8th place with a time of 1:45.11. There are 2 additional finishers before him. We had Zero Rush with a 1:43.23 and Yoshi II with a 1:43.42. And right behind Divisize, Freda with a 1:45.20. And we also have just crossing now Chex Human with a 1:45.33 to round out your top 10 today.
Yeah.
Get your GG's in for all of them. We'll see if Divisize wishes to join us.
Well, it's now time for Phyleon to fight Ganon. Hacksaw, meanwhile, failed to Moldorm too. This is not an easy fight with Master Sword. The arena is very narrow. Could easily be knocked off at any time.
Yeah, it's a very, very challenging. Even the original arena can be a challenging arena if you don't get a good placement. It's easy to get knocked off on either arena. So
He almost
Moldorm
got
can be
cornered
one
there,
of those,
actually.
Yeah, it's one of those really annoying fights, and he is going to look for a sword. He finds a compass. Not what you want to find in Moldorm's chest.
No.
Philly going to get the Space Cadet glow.
Alright, so far so good for Phyleon.
So Phyleon is finding the Ganon's a little bit warpy at this point.
We're actually getting Divisize here in chat saying he cannot join us for an interview, so but GG's to him all the same, putting on an excellent race for us tonight.
Okay, yep. Congratulations, Divi Signs, on your 8th place finish. Excellent finish for a qualifier where there's 70-some people in it. Very, very nicely done. Congratulations again on that finish. Feel free to chat in our chat room, obviously, if anyone in chat has questions for you.
And that's a show we're finally get your Jesus in chat for him now. Canada's no more as Hacksaw begins his master sword fight.
So let's see where Philian finished in the ranking. We already finished our top 10. So Philian does cross the line. He's going to come in 15th place. 147.44 was his official SRL time. Some other finishes in the meantime. Not going to go over the times now, but Mentos Man 8, Ganon's Gone Wild, Mackin X, and Swerve all finished before him in the top, in the 11 to 14 range. And we are on the final GAN fight for Hacksaw right now. So we're having some pretty good finishers for all of our Restream runners here tonight. So far, everyone in the top 20 in a field of about 70 runners.
Alright, meanwhile, let's focus on Hacksaw here. Doing some... That is a beautiful position for Ganon, getting a lot of double spins. Should be a one cycle of phase 2 with the Master Sword.
Yeah,
well
this should be pretty good.
No, he did not
Nope,
get
not
it.
a one cycle. Nope. A little more. He thought it was a one cycle. He's a little unhappy about that, looks like.
I think his last double didn't finish connecting.
Yeah, he had it figured out. Just the one hit, and that's why he stood around on the outside slashing about the time waste. Little rage about the time waste. By the way, for those keeping score at home, Couch Cash was on the pedestal today.
I actually missed that one, Megawatt finish.
I saw it on Megawatt. He was zipping through the credits, but I didn't call it out.
Alright, fourth and final hit here from Hacksaw.
Oh no, Silva! My one true weakness!
Get the first hit, get the torch glitch. Nice. That is very much a nicety whenever you have to do a master fight.
His GAN positioning is not very good for this. He's going to gamble for the double here. Is he going to get it? No, he doesn't. He has to light the torch again.
Very close fight here, though. And that is the last arrow into Hacksaw. These are GG's in chat for Hacksaw, putting on an excellent race for us. Let's see what that finish time now.
He can still go for the top 20 here. Can he make it? Let's find out.
And Hacksaw misses it by 3 seconds, finishing in 21st place with a time of 150.04. 20th place was Emosara with 150.02.
Just missed the top 20, but still a fantastic finish. Other finishers today as well. I'm going to go down the whole list now a little bit as we wait to see if Fali and Hacksaw wish to join us. Other finishers I'm seeing, we have Korek, Magnificent, Pika Pals, Artie Walsh. And now that we are out of the delay situation here, I can also comment Relkin, GFE12, Adirondack Rick, Amarith, Cadenza, Asmati Games, Zyrak, and many others have finished the race. And there was a comment, Will J. Bradley, in the chat. He did also finish in 29th place in this race today. A lot of finishes coming in that period. That's around the 150 points. So a lot of runners are in the 150s and 2 hour points for that race. That was a very challenging seed. The times on the seed for a lot of our runners show that.
And we are now joined by not only Byland, but also Hacksaw. GG to you both. What an excellent race this was. Walk us through the seed here.
Well, I walked a lot. And then at the end, I decided to keep walking. And I decided I would walk instead of run up Ganon's Tower. But that is completely because I got the sword on the right side. So I am okay with that trade-off.
Yeah.
What sword are you talking about?
There was a sword in
GT.
Yeah, there was a sword in the compass room.
In the compass room, the last chest.
And the boots were in the chest, in the Dark Vision room, same chest, on the other side of where the big key was.
And yeah, normally I would have checked every chest in the skeleton room before I mirrored out. But since I already had Tempered Sword, I thought to myself, what are the odds? What are the odds? Boots won't be here.
Yeah, we were surprised when Megawatt checked that. Turns out Megawatt and Asdor, who were our top 2 finishers today, they both did get the boots there. So it was literally a race between the 2 of them to get to the top of Gans Tower first. Megawatt did win that race on the execution. And the boots got him up there and gave him a really nice win today.
Megawatt's, of course, being one of our featured 4 here tonight. So, today was an annoying scene, to say the least. You both had to go pretty much last location, the mirror, I would have to say.
I don't know. Seemed fine. Mirror was in an
That's
obnoxious spot, but it wasn't... It didn't feel that awful. Like, yeah, it was near last location, but it also... Like, the crystal dungeons I cleared on my way to getting Mirror weren't obnoxious full clears. Like, I had to check 2 extra chests in Mire. You don't really get to skip anything in Turtle Rock. So, talking to some other runners who had to get Flute as their go mode, I feel like I did okay by having Mirror as go mode.
I think Flute actually was Megawatt's go mode item, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah, Megawatt did not pick up the Flute right away. That was, in fact, his go mode.
Yeah, for all the trouble I had missing Mitts early, I think Flute really made up for that. Since we're going to talk about it, I know we're going to talk about me skipping out of Thieves early. And I'll just say it didn't hurt as much as it could have. Mitts is like the least awful thing to leave behind there, because you have Hammer, you just go back in, and you get blocked pretty fast. If it was Mirror in Thieves Town, I would have last location that in the entire game. So it wasn't so bad.
And it turns out everyone on the restream dipped out of Thieves Town after checking the 4 chests. No one on the restream completed Thieves Town today at all.
There were a few people who dipped in the desert, but with it being boost locked, not much you can do there either. But something I saw interesting, Pyleon, and something I want to bring up, you found the bow immediately and decided to clear Hyrule Castle. And
Yeah, I had arrows.
Made sense.
And then I started walking to the back and realized I didn't have bombs, so oops. But yeah, I don't know. That was interesting, because when I found Lamp where it was, and then the small key in the Dark Cross, I knew that Lamp was locked behind the fire rod. And I started running all these permutations and thoughts in my head of how late in the game Fire Rod could be before it ended up mattering, and then we got Fire Rod in Sphere 1 anyways, and that was a bunch of mental work I didn't need to do. Yeah,
it turned out that you were the one runner on the restream who went down to Hyrule Castle early. Someone else, I think it was Megawatt, also got the bow early. Diffascience was our third, and then Hacksaw ended up last locationing that before going to Aghanim and getting the lamp down there to confirm Aghanim in his case. But you were the first runner to go down and get the lamp. You were the first runner who had the puzzle pieces to suggest that Aghanim was required. Was that something that was on your mind for a while?
I full cleared the light world and save and quit, and had to stop and think for a sec before I realized, hang on, I can beat Aga. There were some strange thoughts I had for a second. I will say in general, I'm really pleased with the time I got, but I feel like I made a lot of mistakes, and I got bailed out by some things. I think the biggest thing I got bailed out by was in the lava chest in Turtle Rock. There was a piece of heart, and it refilled me from 1.5 to 15 hearts. And that was beautiful, and I want to thank the website for putting the piece of heart there today.
Yeah, we heard the audio when you picked up that heart piece. I picked up on that because we had seen Saint Card earlier in the seeds, so we realized that gave you a heart. That was a nice refill for you in Turtle Rock, because you were in trouble without that.
I mean, I had a fairy in a bottle, and you saw what happened in Mire. I went through all of Mire without getting hit after the first 2 rooms. So, I can go slow and carefully if I need to.
Yeah.
I just usually don't.
Well, I mean, it's a race. Of course you're going to be a little bit reckless. You got to go fast, right? But GG's to you all the same, Phylene, as well as you, Hacksaw. Any final thoughts about the seed before we?
I want to hear Hacksaw talk because I've been talking a lot because you've been asking me the questions. Hacksaw, talk.
Dude, I messed up.
Fair.
Well, you want to explain how you messed up?
Well, I tried to hook shot over to the back of Skull Woods, and I didn't grab that bush quite right, and I fell into the pop prison. Yeah. So I ended up walking all the way back. So that's when it started getting a little bit crazy for me. As soon as I saw those mitts in Thieves Town, I was like, all right, I got to do something with the mitts.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We had it happens. I mean, it just kind of hurts that like boots were in GTs, so it was just a really long time mistake. But yeah, that I was like, okay, mitts, let's go up, do Death Mountain, do Turtle Rock. There's always something in Turtle Rock, so hopefully we get it there, and hopefully it's not in Mimic Cave, and it wasn't. Got lucky there, and then I just cleared everything that I could, and Ice Palace was just sitting there like, hey, yeah, you've got flippers, you've got mitts, you got the stuff, just go do it. So I went and did it. Because I figured, if it's Thieves Town, everybody else has done it. So I'm going to have a bad time anyway.
Yep.
If I do ice and it's ice, then I'll be better off than going to the back of Thieves Town, especially without boots.
Other than that, how'd the seed feel for you today? How do you feel you did performance-wise on the seed besides that mistake?
There was that. There was a couple small other little things. Like that Aga 2 fight was pretty bad. And the Trolldorm 2 fight, well, you saw what happened there. Other than that, it was okay. Last locationing the lamp before Aga was also kind of painful. Because, I had the feeling that it was Aga. It was just, everything was setting up for Aga. And then there was just no lamp. So I'm like, okay, am I going to find the hammer or am I going to find the lamp? So, of course, I keep going looking for it. And last location, the lamp.
And the reason I suspected that there were going to be runners, not just you, but other runners as well, who were going to make the play to do the castle last. And the reason I suspected runners would do the castle last would be because that'd be the last thing to check before going to Aghanim. Therefore, they would find out that that's where they had to go to get the lamp, and that would confirm Aghanim was required. So I figured there were going to be a lot of runners who might have last location of that lamp.
Yeah, I'm sure there were. Yeah, I did flute out after I got the bow just to see if it was back in Eastern, but it wasn't there. I don't know. There's it's like you get to that one point, you got to make a guess at where the stuff is. Today we got lucky; it was a nice palace, but if it was Thieves Town, totally different story.
Absolutely could have been.
And getting into GT without the boots, I was like, all right, let me go check the torch right away just to see if it's the big key. It wasn't. It's like, okay, we'll just do Dark Magician. Then I find the big key, and then I watch the restream and see that I missed an easy sword. So, yeah, it's cool stuff.
So any final thoughts from either of you before we start to wrap up here?
Not about the race, but I think we've covered that. I'm just going to take the second to plug commentary for anyone who's watching. We do have a ton of group stage matches coming up once Qual's finish. We are going to need commentators. So if you're in chat, you're watching this, you're thinking, hey, I bet I can talk about this because I already talked to my roommates about it too much. Head on over to the tournament Discord and sign up, and we'll get you doing some commentary for these races.
And hey, you might get to talk with someone like Wolflink, myself, Phantom Fox, who was on the ALTTPR Randomizer tonight, as well as, I forget who else was over there tonight. And there are a lot of other great commentators in this community who would love to show you the ropes. So if you think you can talk about Zelda, come join us and talk about Zelda with us.
Yeah, I just want to say big thanks to everybody at Speed Gaming for putting all this together. Thanks for all you guys on the restream. Thanks for the commentaries. Big thanks to the trackers who never get any love. But yeah, thanks to all you guys.
Those are Slowpoke 316 and Iceman F1, by the way.
Definitely show those guys some love. But yeah, hopefully that result was a little bit better than the rest of mine. So I should be a little bit safer with qualifying. So I might be able to help you out with the comms.
Well,
let's not forget about you Ufaxo, and of course Violent, along with Diviscience and Megawatt. You four gave us a show. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a restream to talk about. You guys, make sure to give these four a follow as well. And of course, make sure to follow Speed Gaming's 2 through 6 so you don't miss any racing action, not just Link to the Past Randomizer. And of course, we have Speed Gaming Francias, who is also our co-restream here tonight as well. And we also have Speed Gaming Espanol, Speed Gaming English, and Speed Gaming Portuguese for various restream themes in your region's language of choice.
And there are still a couple runners finishing on Speed Gaming France. I just took a quick peek over there. I think a couple of them are still finishing there. But other than that, a lot of our runners on the restreams that we had tonight are finished. Very good race we had on our restream. All four of the finishers almost in the top 20 by 2 seconds. 2 seconds out of the top 20 for one, but everyone else is in the top 20. So very good results over here today. Very good race. Very enjoyable to watch. And just for those who do want more racing to watch, not necessarily just of this, but of anything, we have a big schedule here on Speed Gaming tomorrow. But the most important thing, tune in for the qualifier tomorrow morning, I believe it was. I'm just trying to get it back in front of me.
Yes, I see it right here, actually, Cyclone. It is. You got to wake up early for this one. It is at 10:15 a.m. Restream channel to be determined.
And we do have the Lane and Walther the Fourth, I guess that is, already set up to commentate that one. There is a second restream planned, but I don't know if it's going to be official yet. We'll get word on that tomorrow morning.
Well, I believe that is done. That's going to do it for us here. So from all of us here at A Link to the Past Randomizer for Fall 2019-2020 tournament, I have been Wolfling0670, and we shall see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.
At this point, I'll just throw a quick note again for those on YouTube who are watching after the fact and do want to follow the runners, twitch.tv followed by the name you see on the screen. We'll get you their channels. Thank you, chat, again for watching. Without you, we'd just be talking to ourselves. So thank you for watching us, and join us tomorrow morning for more Link to the Past Randomizer Qualifier number 11. May not all your seats be pet seats. Have a good night, everyone.